Hello. Well, you know, these days, you ask yourself, is it best to rent or to buy houses these days? And it can go both ways. Because you got some high price rent, But what I can say, as far as buying a house right now, it is a great time to buy a house because these houses are dropping like crazy. They really are. And so you will find yourself a good deal because these buyers that are selling their houses, you can ask them for this and ask them for that, and they just want to get out of these houses because their interest rate is high or their property tax and insurance is high and they can't afford it. So they're willing to drop their prices so they can sell the house. And it's sad that it's got to be that way because, basically because it's a buyer's market. Like my home, for what I pay for my home, I can't even get close to what I paid for my home. Right now, if I sell my home, I'm losing about $70,000. Yeah, $70,000. That's why I say it's a great time for you to buy a home. Like these builders, right? D.R. Horton, LGI Homes, they're giving these big incentives where they're offering buy one of our homes and it's zero closing and $1,000 down. And you see, you can't beat that. And the sad part about that is that we can't compete against that. So we have to, people like me that own our home, we have to drop our value of our home because these builders are giving more incentives. But like I try to tell people, like the builder got my house listed around $345. Okay. Like I said, I'm losing about $70,000. So when I was trying to sell my house, I had people come look at my house and they're like, well, I can get a brand new house that look just like yours. Yeah, you can. But the one thing about it, and you're going to pay $345, instead of paying $345, at that time, I was selling mine at $310. I said, you come out a whole lot cheaper buying my house, and you're like moving to instant equity. Because as soon as you buy that house, because the way the market is right now, as soon as you buy that house, next year you bought it for $345, and next year come by, that $345 dropped down to $335 because of the way of the market. So I'm saying, you'll probably be best buying my house because you're moving into instant equity. Instant equity. And that's the way to buy these days. And you're saving money. A lot of people don't look at things that way. A lot of people want brand new. And you see, sometimes having brand new doesn't save you money, costs you money. And these days, especially with the economy, it's about saving money. Because if I was to buy a new house, I would buy a used house. I really would. Because there's just too many things that's going on with these new houses these days. They build them too quick, and they're missing a lot of things when they're building these houses, and things come up that should have been done better in these new houses. And it's very upsetting because, you have a new house and you want things done a certain way, But I don't know. I always think the best houses that were built from 2000 to 2012. Houses are bigger, the rooms are bigger, and it was built better. But so these homes, they're beautiful homes and good prices, no closing costs, zero down. $1,000 down payment, zero closing costs. So those are the opportunities that are going on. That's why I say, if you're trying to buy a house, these are the good deals that you need to get. There's some good deals going on because the houses are dropped tremendously. And please understand, whatever state that you're going to try to get a house, always see what the HOA is going to be. But most importantly, see what that property tax is going to be. That's the most very important one you got to really check out, is the property tax. HOA and property tax and insurance, they're just really getting out of hand these days. They really are. HOA is one of the biggest ripoffs next to property. Well, property tax is number one, of course. HOA, it's ridiculous. And I'm saying, for me to you, do not buy no condo or no townhouse, because those fees associated with the townhouse, the HOAs, and the property, matter of fact, the HOA and the insurance, especially the HOA, they are ridiculous in townhouses and condos. You hear me? They're ridiculous. A lot of times the HOA and the homeowners insurance is higher than your mortgage, especially in Florida. If you go look in Florida for some condos and townhouses, a lot of people are trying to get rid of them because they put this kind of assessment on you. Well, let's say they need a new roof, and they tell you, well, you got to come up with between $5,000 to $10,000, and you got 30 days to do it. A lot of these condos and townhouses do that to people. That's why people are trying to sell those condos and townhouses, and they can't sell them, so they got to walk away from them and take a bump on their credit report. Because they're trying to get rid of them. And these property taxes it's just a rip-off. It's just crazy. We're being taxed on an assumption, on an assessment of the value of our home, and they put a tax on it. They're taxing people too much. Home ownership is it's getting crazy. But what they used to tell me a long time ago is where they want to get to the point where you don't own no property. They want to own all the property so they can control everything, and they can assess their price unto us, whatever they want to charge us for rent, HOA, homeowners insurance. And that's what they're trying to do. Like this one guy said, that you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. See, that's what they're talking about doing. They want to put everybody in these apartments and just stack them. Stack with it. You got hundreds of people living in an apartment complex. And that's what they're trying to do. And only the rich can have housing. So These are the things that's going on in this world. But, I just think it's best that if you're trying to get a house right now, it's the best time to get one. Because you can always negotiate the price because everything is low. And it's a great time to get it because, especially if you buy a used home. If you buy a used home, then let's just say 2 years from now, everything starts to go back up to the way it used to be. When all these houses now are the same price, and you buy an older home, when it's time to sell, you're going to make more money than the person who just bought a brand new home. Because you bought the house for way less than what these other people bought it for. So really take a look at that. Check out your credit score, see what you qualify for. If you got an agent, and the agent says you qualify for $500,000, don't go find your house for $500,000. Go find you a $300,000 home. Because you don't want to go into a home broke. You want to save money, Don't do that. Be cautious with your money. Just because they say you qualify for a certain amount, don't get that certain amount. Because all it's going to do is just put you in debt. Because you still got to pay utilities. You still got to pay car note, homeowner's insurance. You got to pay private insurance. You got to get kids' clothes. You got to get your clothes. Maintenance on your car. So all that stuff starts to add up. And a lot of people don't realize that until it's too late. And when you get you an agent, tell them to explain everything to you like you're a third grader. Okay? And also, make sure they explain to you what the HOA is in that neighborhood. And most importantly, how much is the property tax in that neighborhood. Okay? And if you can, try to find a neighborhood that's clean, that's taking care of their lawns. If you can find a neighborhood that doesn't have an HOA. Because if you can find one that doesn't have an HOA, that would be amazing. Because these HOAs are getting ridiculous. They're getting higher and higher these days. I got a friend that's paying over $900 a year on HOA, and they keep going up every year. They're not adding no new amenities or nothing. They just constantly going up. And like I said, it's hitting people's wallets. So be cautious about what you do and what you buy. But understand this is the right time. This is the right time to start buying. Because prices are dirt cheap right now. I mean, like I said, these other states like Florida, prices are dropping over $120,000. New York prices are dropping. New Jersey, Vegas, Colorado, all these houses are dropping like crazy. Because it's the way, it's because it's a buyer's market. So get out there and get your home. And just make sure you understand everything from A to Z. All right? Y'all take care and have an amazing day. Peace.